I admit to taking a couple of days off after the fun of NaNoWriMo, but the state of this room is really getting to me. So let's see if we can maybe tidy this up just a little bit. Part of it is getting Christmas decorations out. Part of it is cozying up by the fire. Part of it's catching up on my mail. And part of it's just a lot of laundry. So, and you know, I still haven't tidied up after dressing up. So a lot of work to do. Let's see if we can get this looking festive by the end of the day. All right, we're getting there. We've got laundry put away. No more laundry over the balustrades. It's excellent. Still need to get the Christmas stuff out. Some of the stuff has gone up to my sewing room, which I'll talk about in a minute. Dexter is helping. Are you helping? Yeah, you're a helper, aren't you? Yes, you are. Thanks, bud. Yeah. Steve's out doing groceries, so I have rearranged the furniture to put this sofa back here where it was over by the fireplace. And then I've just put that back to a seating of 4. So we kind of tidied up and I vacuumed and most of the stuff is away. I've got a little load to take up to the sewing room there, but looking much tidier. Now just to the decorations. This is the petite chambre, and during November we had it set up as an extra morning writing space. And now for the winter, it's going to be my sewing room because it's getting a bit chilly up in the rafters in the winter. So we had a single bed left here, and I think I will move that over to the corner and then rearrange my desks, which are actually from my sewing room upstairs, into my regular sewing and cutting area. And then I will be all set up to do a whole bunch of curtains over the winter. My winter sewing room is ready to go, I think. There are 2 outlets on this wall, so that made it the natural fit for my actual sewing machines. And that left the most space for my cutting table over this end, which doesn't need as many outlets, except maybe my extra space heater. Not that I really need it because that radiator works well. And that left this side of the room for my all-important pressing station, which I'll have to move out of the way sometimes when I need access to the armoire where all my material is. So that's all the material from the Paris trip in August, which will be the curtains for our bedroom, and I'm pretty excited about that. So I've got the lining material ready to go, my pressing station, small load of napkins to do. And then other than that, I think we're ready to go. Yay, winter sewing. Before I can get to sewing the curtains, I am going to sew a Christmassy tablecloth. So this is the identical material to the stuff I ordered earlier in the year, just in a different color. And I really actually quite like the color. It's actually a little richer than it's showing on camera. And yeah, I'm gonna do it exactly the same way. So I've just pulled out my other one as a model. I have pulled the threads and just cut evenly all around the edge based on the thread line, and I'll do the same thing. So I just did basically almost like a pants hem. Trim that down, did mitered corners. I'm gonna do the same thing again and make us a Christmassy tablecloth. Well, that didn't take too long. Finish that up in a few hours. Like I said, just doing exactly like the last one. So we've still going with the drape just to the corner. One festive table coming up. I had to see what it looked like with the crocheted cover on it. I think it looks pretty cool, actually. Really shows off all the details. I used the leftover material from the making the tablecloth to just make a runner, basically identical, but just to protect it from the foliage that I'm going to use for a centerpiece. In case there's any little drips or drabs coming out of the sap, just protect the center of the tablecloth. So let's make some Christmas centerpieces. I'm starting with a base of laurel and putting a bit of ivy around it. So then we will just pile things in and through there. I want a mix of candlelight and fairy lights, and I want a mix of high foliage and low foliage. So I've got my tall, narrow vases, which I love. And I'll put some foliage in there, and then I think I'll put a little tea light or something in here. And then of course we've got the tall candlesticks that we got at the brocante this summer. And I think that'll do it. It's a lot, but let's see how it looks. Maybe one of you clever horticulturalist types can tell me what this beautiful plant is. I've been dying to use it. and I have no idea what it is. So comment away, my friends. I'm filling in with a mix of evergreens. Cedar I love because obviously, well, all the evergreens smell awesome, but cedar reminds me particularly of where I grew up, Balsam Lake. So we'll get some of that in and some of the berries that I picked from outside. Let's get a little more red in there, shall we? I've put a bunch of mistletoe around the center crystal piece. Thank you everyone who commented last year that it's a parasitic plant and it's bad for dogs, so thank you for sharing that information. I think I'm liking how this is coming along. We've got splashes of red. I think I want to put the fairy lights in and see if I need even more. Looking pretty festive. I'm pretty happy. Shout out to my sister for supplying the gorgeous Christmas balls. I added the fairy lights and a bit of ribbon, and I'm pretty happy. I'll show you what it's like all lit up tonight. And then I figured, why go halfway? Why not just Instagram the whole thing? So there we are. There's a setup for Christmas. I don't know if it'll be the final one, but I am loving it. I think it looks very pretty and elegant. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment.
There it is, our Christmas tree for 2022. Looking quite resplendent, I think. And thanks to my sister Kathy, we even have our first gift under the tree.
A very kind person wrote to me last week, or a couple of weeks ago right now, I guess, and told me a lovely story, which is a bit sad, that she'd had a friend from Provence who lived a wonderful life and had traveled all over the world and had this collection of crèche figurines that she really wanted to go back to France after she had passed. And so this person very kindly thought of us and has packed them up and sent them over to us. So it's just arrived after a bit of a detour. So if you want to start opening, I will tell the detour, because her friend had traveled around the world. She was born in Provence, but had lived variously in the US and a couple of other places. And my joke when these went a little bit astray was that the Santons were not done with their little voyage. They had enjoyed the voyage of her friend so much that obviously they were going on their own little one before coming to us. So eventually they made their way from Sweden, where they weren't meant to go, and they have now arrived.
Oh, packing peanuts. Everybody loves packing peanuts.
Who doesn't love a peanut?
Okay. Oh, what do we got? Yes. Wow. Okay, there's a lot of them.
Wow.
This is crazy.
So these are the Provence santons that I believe some of you will know from Stephanie Jarvis's vlog. And we did share with, we'll say Linda, we won't share her full details, but that Steve and I love these for the artist tradition that created them. And it's just an ongoing tradition of artisans and craftspeople creating these.
Yeah, they will absolutely have pride of place in the house, and
Yeah.
they're an extremely kind gift. And thank you so much for sending them. You know, I think we will certainly find somewhere to display it all and enjoy them for many Christmases to come. Like it's meant to be like an entire village.
Oh, who's that guy?
Oh, she's got the little
Sharp
crabs.
ones.
Little fishes. I think those are fishes. I think they're fishes.
Fisher maiden.
Yeah.
I've come out this morning to collect some natural things for our creche. Got a bag of goodies. We've got some of those flagstones that came up from the front porch. Some pieces of bark and some moss. And hopefully that will help us create the scene.
The baby Jesus has arrived. The last two I unwrapped, I think, are Mary and I was going to say Santa Claus, but I think in this context it's more appropriate to say Saint Nicholas. Aren't they sweet? I would suggest not messing with this lady and her pumpkin. I'm getting a bit of insight into how these pieces are made because some of them are missing their accoutrement. So anywhere there's a little bit of wire sticking out here means that she's probably missing something. So quite a lot of the ladies have something balancing on their head, and I'm guessing this little loop of wire was an extra internal support for something. There's a gentleman who's missing something on his shoulder, I think. Obviously he was carrying something, probably a bag. Yeah, so I think that's how they create these figures. There's our happy little Santon scene. It's a very busy little town. Lots of people out and about. Some of them on their way to see the baby Jesus. And some of them sitting around having a nice little chin wag about what's going on. Other people hard at work in the working center of town. And some people off for a little hunting, fishing expedition.
I've run outside because it's actually snowing. This is the first snow that we're seeing this holiday season. And here it comes. What do you know? Really hoping it doesn't last too long, but it'll be very pretty whilst it lasts. What do you think, Dexter? Oh, he's done. He's out. So here it is, middle of December, and we're getting snowfall. Certainly brings a holiday feel to it. Maybe a little bit of a nostalgic Canadian connection. It's very pretty, and hopefully it doesn't last too long. Happy holidays. Just a gentle snow falling over the village of Saint-Germain-des-Prés.